What's up, guys? Derek here with Tap and Turn Gaming, coming at you today with an EDH deck tech that is a subscriber request. So as you can see, it's going to be for DragonLord Ojutai with an Ormansir theme. So we're going to more or less go sort of Voltron style via auras. So this deck was suggested to us by Unleashed089. So Unleashed, this is the deck that you requested. Hopefully it works out for you. So we're going to go over our choices and some things like that. We kept it relatively budget. Nothing in here too expensive, so it is an easy to obtain deck. The price for the deck comes in at $150 using TCG Player, so that's a very reasonable deck. So first, let's take a look at the general. The general is DragonLord Ojutai, who's a 5-cost 5/4 Elder Dragon. DragonLord Ojutai has flying, and DragonLord Ojutai has hexproof as long as it's untapped. So as long as it's sitting there, your opponent can't target it, but you can, so that's nice. And whenever DragonLord Ojutai deals combat damage to a player, look at the top 3 cards of your library, put one of them into your hand, and the rest in the bottom of your library in any order. So his second ability, he actually works really well for this theme. I shouldn't say his second ability. The dragon's overall 3 abilities work very well for our theme. Having flying makes it so we'll be able to hit more often than not. Having hexproof when it's untapped means that we can go ahead and target our dragon with our enchantments to make it more powerful without our opponent being able to kill it in response. Now, they could kill the enchantment, which is something they could do, but they cannot kill the dragon in response, and that's huge for us. And then the third ability is whenever it deals combat damage, we get to look at the top 2 cards of our library, put one to our hand, the rest on the bottom. It means we get to cycle through our deck a lot faster to get to what we want. So let's take a look at the deck itself. For lands, we went with Ash Barrens, Emeria the Sky Ruin, Esper Panorama, Evolving Wilds, Glacial Fortress, Halimar Depths, 15 Islands, a Nimbus Maze, and 15 Plains. So a relatively budget mana base. The only dual lands we really went to was Glacial Fortress, which is $2, and Nimbus Maze, which is $12, but I do happen to be pretty fond of it. We could have gone with like a Hallowed Fountain or any number of white-blue lands. Those are just the 2 I threw together when I did it. But really, it's up to you. I mean, however you like the land base is up to you. That's just what I threw together as I was putting together the deck. But the reason I have Ash Barrens and Evolving Wilds and Esper Panorama is mostly just so that we have more ways to get to what we need faster. Because when we start ripping extra lands out of our deck to fix colors, it also means we won't draw those lands and we'll draw into what we do want faster. So for Planeswalkers, we're only running one Planeswalker, and that is Elspeth's Sun Champion, and mostly because she has the ability to go ahead and continually pump out creatures and pump out creatures and pump out creatures until we need her emblem, which says creatures you control get +2/+2 and have flying. So we're not concerned with the door destroying all creatures with power 4 or greater, because that would destroy our general, but we're going to just keep doing +1 for creatures, +1 for creatures, +1 for creatures. That'll give us some nice blockers to use when we're going to be swinging away with our general. That's more or less the point of that. So for artifacts, we're running Azorius Cluestone, Keyrune, and Signet for the mana ramp. Bident of Thassa, so that whenever a creature we control deals combat damage to play, we can draw a card. And we can force the attack if we want to, so we can Alpha Strike after. Darksteel Ingot and Soul Ring and Ojutai Monument for more ramp. And Ojutai Monument for 6 mana can also become a dragon, which is nice. And then Spear of Heliod, so we can destroy a creature that dealt damage to us. So it's more of like a rattlesnake, where if you hit me, I'm going to hit you back. It also has, I honestly think this is a great card that's very underutilized and underrated. It's 3 cost, and it gives creatures you control +1/+1. So it does the same exact thing as Glorious Anthem for the same mana cost as Glorious Anthem. But it also has the ability that you can pay 3 and tap it to destroy target creature. I mean, that's awesome. It being an enchantment and an artifact makes it easy to destroy, and it being legendary means you can only have down 1. But I think it's great for what it does. So let's take a look at our sorceries now. Only a few. Curse of the Swine to be able to exile some creatures. Idyllic Tutor to search for an enchantment. Plea for Guidance to be able to search for 2 enchantments. And Profound Journey to be able to return a permanent from the battlefield, from the graveyard to our battlefield, and it has rebound, so we can do it twice. This is nice for getting back either our general if he gets killed and we know we have this in our hand, or if we want to go ahead and use this to get back an enchantment for the general, we can do that as well. So for instance, we're running a lot of control magic because we want to be able to keep our general and keep him safe, or her safe, or it safe. So we're running Absorb, which is a counterspell, Cancel, a counterspell, Capsize, a buyback bounce spell, counterspell, Crib Swap is a nice exile spell, Cyclonic Rift, a big old bounce, Devouring Light is some more removal. Disallow, some more. This is like the do-all counter spell or an ability or a triggered ability or an activated ability. It's really fun. Dissipate for the counter. Dissolve for the counter. Enlighten Tutor to be able to go ahead and search for an enchantment. Fairy Trickery for a counter. Forbid is a counter. Hinder is a counter. Hindering Light, another counter. Ojutai's Command is pretty fun. 4-cost instant that you can return target creature card with mana cost 2 or less from your graveyard to the battlefield, or you can gain full life, or you can counter target creature spell, or you can draw a card. So really just the situational of it is nice because there's so many things it can do for you. Then we have Path to Exile for the removal. Reality Shift, some more removal. Remand is a nice counter spell. Render Silence is a pretty fun counter spell. Scatter to the Winds is nice because it's a counter spell that late game can also help you be a finisher. Spell Crumple, another counter. Stoic Rebuttal, another counter that we can possibly Metalcraft, and we do have 8 artifacts, so there is a chance we will have this out. Swords to Plowshares, and Void Shatter. So just a nice little removal / counter package just to go ahead and be able to protect our general mostly. Now for creatures, a lot of them going to help out our theme. We have Ormansir to be able to return enchantment from our graveyard to our hand. Eidolon of Countless Battles, which is a 3-cost creature that will get a +1/+1 for each creature we control, and a +1/+1 for each aura we control. So that's pretty cool. If we enchant this onto a creature, which if we bestow it, I should say, onto DragonLord Ojutai, it gets a +2/+2 automatically because we have DragonLord Ojutai, and we have Eidolon enchanted onto it as an enchantment, so it would get a +2/+2 right away, and that's pretty fun. We have Griffin Dreamfinder to be able to return enchantment from our graveyard to our hand, just like Ormansir. Hana Ship's Navigator will also do the same thing for us as well, but repeatable. Heliod, God of the Sun, will give our DragonLord Ojutai Vigilance, and this is huge for us. This is actually really, really nice. But he also has the ability to pay 4 and put a 2/1 Cleric onto the board, which is also very nice. So the reason why Heliod works so well in this deck is because he gives other creatures you control vigilance. And with DragonLord Ojutai, as long as DragonLord Ojutai is untapped, it has hexproof. So then once you have hexproof on DragonLord, he can't be targeted, very hard to remove, and Heliod himself is indestructible, so he's very hard to remove. So the two of them work very well together. And then also, since you can pay 4 to put a 2/1 white cleric enchantment creature onto the battlefield, they're a creature and an enchantment, so they will kick off Eidolon of Countless Battles twice. So that is that's really well. I'm sorry, they're not. It's not an aura, so they'll just get the one. I'm sorry, I was incorrect, but still, you can pay 4 at free random to go ahead and make more guys. It's really not a bad ability overall. Then we have Lost Ormansers. It's a 4-cost 3/3 Vanishing 3. When Lost Ormansers is put into a graveyard from play, if it had no time counters on it, you may search your library for an enchantment card and put it into play. If you do, shuffle your library. So we're mostly going to put him in there as a 4-cost 3/3 that we can block with if we need be. And if he dies, he dies. But if he dies because we moved the last Vanishing counter, we get to go ahead and return the enchantment from our search our library for an enchantment card and put it into play, and that's pretty cool because we can get a specific enchantment that we want. Then we have LotusEyed Mystic, which is pretty much the same as Griffin Dreamfinder and Ormansir. Monk Idealist, that whenever we it's just the same exact thing again as Ormansir and the other ones. We're also running OG Ojutai, the Ojutai Soul of Winter, a 7-cost 5/6 with flying and vigilance. That says whenever a dragon you control attacks, tap target non-land permanent an opponent controls, and that permanent doesn't untap during its control's next untap step. So that's really cool, and we have a way to benefit off that by one little card, but we do have a way to benefit off that, so that's pretty cool. Then we have Silent Sentinel, so that whenever it attacks, we can return target enchantment from our graveyard to the battlefield, so just a way to get them back. Sovereigns of Lost Alara is pretty fun. It's a 6-cost 4/5 with Exalted, so whenever a creature you control attacks alone, it gets +1/+1 until the turn. And whenever a creature you control attacks alone, you may search your library for an aura card that could enchant that creature and put it directly into play. So we also want to use this again with our DragonLord. So we attack with DragonLord alone. It already becomes a 6/5 because of the Sovereign's Exalted, and then we find whatever enchantment we want, say maybe Battle Match to give him double strike, and now it's hitting for 12 commander damage, so we can 2-shot someone. And that's very, very nice. And Thassa God of the Sea is another enchantment. That's a 3-cost enchantment. and it's a 5/5, and it has at the beginning of your upkeep scry 1. The free scry return is very, very nice, and we can pay 2 to make target creature you control can't be blocked this turn. So basically pay 2 to make your creature unblockable, and that's very, very nice also. So then for the bread and butter of the deck, I guess you could say, is the enchantments that we'll be enchanting onto our creature. Now, there's only 12 because I'm a big fan of when you're playing a Voltron style, you don't want to just load up on 100 things and not have any support. So we play more support than we do actual enchantments, so the few enchantments we do hit harder because we are controlling and protecting them. So we have Battle Mastery to give Ojutai double strike, Celestial Mantle to give it +3/+3, and whenever it deals combat damage, we double our life total. Diplomatic Immunity, so that enchanted creature can't be the target of spells or abilities, and Diplomatic Immunity itself can't be the target of spells or abilities. This is really nice once we've gotten 1 or 2 enchantments on DragonLord to throw this on the DragonLord and then be able to not worried about anything. Imperial Armor, a 3-cost enchantment that the creature gets +1/+1 for each card in our hand. Very, very deadly. Mobilization, just so we can spit out creatures, and soldier creatures we control have vigilance. We're not worried about the soldiers we have control, we have vigilance. We're mostly just worried about the 3 costs to be able to spit out guys, to be able to go ahead and have late game blockers. Especially if we suit up Ojutai, we attack, they don't have a response, we pass to their turn, they don't do anything that we want to counter or hurt, we go ahead and spit out as many guys as we can, basically whenever we have the mana to do it. Then we have Righteous Authority, which serves the same exact purpose as Imperial Armor, that we get the +1/+1 for every card in our hand, but it also has the ability of at the beginning of the draw step of enchanted creature control, that player draws an additional card. So we'll draw 2 cards a turn. Spectral Ward is a 5-cost enchantment aura that gives it a +2/+2 and protection from all colors, but this effect doesn't remove auras. It's a very, very powerful card. Starfield of Nyx is a 5-cost enchantment. This is at the beginning of your upkeep. You may return target enchantment card from your graveyard to the battlefield, which is nice. And as long as you control 5 more enchantments, each other non-aura you control is a creature in addition to other types. So we don't really care about the secondary ability. The first ability to get enchantments back is what we really want. Then we have Steel of the Godhead. This card is one of our win conditions. It's a 3-cost enchantment that says enchant creature. As long as your enchanted creature is white, it gets +1/+1, has lifelink. As long as the enchanted creature is blue, it gets +1/+1 unblockable. So if we put it on Ojutai, he becomes a 7/6 that is unblockable with lifelink, and we can 3-shot someone. That's very, very nice. Then we have Trail of Evidence. I've actually fallen in love with this card. It's just a 3-cost enchantment that says whenever you cast an instant or sorcery spell, you investigate, and when you investigate, you put a clue artifact token onto the battlefield that you can pay 2 to sacrifice to draw a card. I found that this is really good in like a control build where you can go ahead and cast all your instants and sorceries and do what you got to do, and you generate these clues, and then when you have the free mana and you're not doing anything else and you have this extra mana, just go ahead and sacrifice 1 to draw a card. I found it to be very, very effective and very, very powerful. Then we have Vanishing. It's a 1-cost blue enchantment that says you can pay 2 blue and an enchanted creature phases out. Now when a creature phases out, any enchantments go with them, and then when they come back with them, it's just like the creature ceases to exist and then just comes back on your next turn. And it's a really cool ability to go ahead and protect DragonLord Ojutai. And then finally we have Xenograph, which is just in here for fun. Xenograph's a 5-cost enchantment that says as Xenograph enters the battlefield, choose a creature type. Each creature you control is the chosen type in addition to its other types. So basically what we're going to do with this is we're going to go ahead and choose dragons for fun. And then that's going to actually work pretty well with Ojutai Soul of Winter, because it says whenever a dragon you control attacks, we can tap the permanent, blah, 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 doesn't untap. So then when we are generating all of our soldier tokens from mobilization and from Elspeth, and generating the clerics from Heliod and all these other creatures we have, whenever they attack, they're actually a dragon, so we get to tap something down and it won't untap. So just a little more control. It's not in there to be overly powerful, but late game, if we draw in that late game, we have a bunch of guys, we can make a bunch of guys, you can control the game very, very quickly. But yeah, that is the DragonLord Ojutai Ormansir Voltron deck we came up with. Unleashed 089. I hope you enjoy the deck, or at least you can take some inspiration from it, maybe find some ideas. This has been Derek with Tap and Turn Gaming. Please like, comment, subscribe. We really do appreciate it. It helps us to be able to do what we do. The more our videos get out there and the more we know that you guys like them. Also, please hit that notification button so we can go ahead and have you get notified every time we upload a video, which is generally 3 times a week. But again, this has been Derek with Tap and Turn Gaming. Please like, comment, subscribe, and all that fun stuff, and we'll catch you later. Thanks a lot, and goodbye.